Hey, welcome back to my channel. I'm Penelope and my channel is all things fashion, costumes, DIY, you get the gist. And today we are talking about Paris Haute Couture Fashion Week, my thoughts on the different collections, as well as styling takeaways that you can incorporate into your own wardrobe. By the way, happy Fashion Month! So haute couture fashion is considered handmade, tailor-made to the specific client. That means it's uber expensive. Even though there's about 15 houses that are considered haute couture houses, they allow other designers to come and show if they can prove that the quality is really high. It's kind of interesting to note that a lot of those designers, even of the 15, didn't even show up this year. So let's talk about my favorite. Now, my favorite, which I think was the biggest surprise to us all, was Schiaparelli. They had given us a little preview with the KKW Hulk armor dress for Christmas that she wore. So we were all pretty excited to see that they continued that and incorporated it into their haute couture. Now, these pieces are well made, they're interesting, and as Schiaparelli has been gone for, decades and then brought back just recently, they really killed it in terms of innovation and pieces that people actually are interested in. So you can wear Schiaparelli yourself by wearing pleather pieces or patent leather pieces combined with super smooth silky satins in fun colors such as bright pink and using gold hardware as much as possible. Now we have my almost misses. I love Iris van Herpen, and I think as one of the newer designers to be presenting at Haute Couture Fashion Week, she's always had very innovative designs that involve 3D printing and have social causes behind them. But this year, it kind of felt like she took a step back, and even though all of the garments are made out of recycled material and great for red carpet outfits, I was a little disappointed by it, and it seemed a little too much like previous collections. And then my next almost miss, Giambattista Valli, which I absolutely adore. I love the ruffles and the lace and the feathers, but some of those dresses look exactly or almost the exact same as previous collections. I mean, one of the dresses looked like it was right off of the H&M runway show that they did a few years ago. So I just would have liked a little more innovation and creativity if they were going to continue doing the exact same materials in the exact same fashion. So to style Iris van Herpen or Giambattista Valli, I would recommend wearing dresses or tops that have either a lot of ruffles and tiers to symbolize Giambattista Valli, or a lot of pleating and very structured shoulders like Iris van Herpen. So unlike my favorites, we have a couple of snoozes from surprisingly big name houses, starting off with Fendi. Now, I did like Fendi and their sheer moments that they had, but all of the colors were very muted and it gave me a mature feeling. And even though they had a lot of models who were big names, like they decided to put Kate Moss, for example, in a very Mother of the Bride dress. And I don't know if I can forgive them for that. My next miss is Chanel. I know Chanel is considered creme de la creme of the fashion houses right now and kind of always, but the fact that they haven't been able to reinvent tweed and yet they still continue to try it every single season, I think them always catering to a mature audience, because that's who always buys their products, really does a disservice to the younger consumer if it didn't look like a grandma two-piece always. My next miss is Valentino. Now, Valentino had about 80 items and it just started off kind of bland for me, and I liked the pops of color throughout to kind of symbolize, the rebirth after the pandemic and how everything was dull and drab, and there's little bits of hope throughout. I get where they were going. For haute couture pieces that are supposed to be big and out there and unable to find, a lot of the pieces looked like you could buy them from literally any other clothing company, with the exception of a handful of ball gowns here and there. Now my last miss is actually kind of not a miss. I'm not really sure what to do. It's Dior. Now, Dior had really amazing costumes and a really cool video to go along with it that symbolized tarot and this character's journey through it. But it felt like all of the outfits were a part of a costume, which I have no problem with. I love costumes, and that's exactly what it gave me. But there were pieces not even included in the video, and because they're costumes, it's hard to wear them in real life. So honestly, Dior, I loved the film. It was great and entertaining, but the clothes just didn't live up to it in real life. So now we have some superlatives. We have Rahul Mishra, which is a designer that I hadn't really heard of prior to going through haute couture this season. And I really loved what he did and the embroidery behind it, all the really tiny details. The video was super interesting to watch as well. It showed the creative process, the building of it, as well as the final products. And he actually decided to do haute couture this year because he is native to India, and a lot of the artisans of that area are displaced or out of work due to the pandemic. So he did the collection to hire as many of those artisans as possible. Now, if you want to style this brand in your own way, I would suggest wearing anything embroidered, floral, super colorful. He had essentially a rainbow color palette, and that is the best way that you can wear it yourself. Next, we have most over the top, which goes to, I'm sure you all guessed it, Viktor Rolf. I don't really know what to feel about this. Now, the entire collection gave me 80s vibes for sure, and even though it felt a little bit like a craft store kind of threw up all over the place, it still somehow worked. And the pieces were really fun and different, and I can absolutely see this on Lady Gaga or other singers. So even though it's super over the top, I think the risk did pay off, and I think a lot of the pieces, if done separately from each other, would also work really well on the red carpet. Now, if you would like to style Viktor and Rolf your own way, I would recommend wearing mismatched colors, prints, patterns, as well as textures in a very 80s way. Okay, now best vibe was Alexander Vauthier. I loved their video. I think the club goer in me is just missing so much, being able to dance and wear glitz and glam. So I think that the video just really appealed to me in that sense. I still really liked it, even though it's something that you can probably still find at other retailers. So you can style this designer by putting on your best sequin dress with an oversized blazer or jacket that's leather, very 80s, big shoulders, and don't forget your kitten heels. So the best surprise, which might also tie for my favorite, is Armani. Now, I don't know where I got this idea in my head that Armani was for older men or like was a designer of the past, but their collection did not disappoint at all. I absolutely loved almost all of the items. They had sheer moments and sparkly vests and just elegant and timeless pieces that I absolutely think people will be wearing on the red carpet as soon as possible. And the embroidery, the sequin and shine, just beautiful, gorgeous. I loved it. So you can style it yourself by putting on some sheer lacy pieces or satin skirt and pairing it with a velvet piece such as a vest or blazer and little shine here and there. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching my video and for joining me on this little Paris Haute Couture journey. I hope you guys liked it, and I am so excited for the rest of the month, even if it's just to put some new photos into your Pinterest. But if you like this video, make sure that you like it and subscribe for more content. And I will see you guys next time. Bye!